it is going to be a bunch of matches against Lothor. For some reason, I just was not finding too many people using this guy. It's probably because of how many other decent leaders there are out there. But this guy's pretty crazy. I remember whenever he released, I saw his move set, and I just knew that this guy was a little crazy, so I wasn't going to waste my time with it. But a 2, a 3, and 2 4s for breakers. The 2 cost is just like any other 2 cost in the game, so you can kind of spam out. This one just happens to have an effect to it. I think the second hit of it is going to trip you. The 3 cost brute force attack is probably where my biggest gripe is with this character. I think it has like 3 or 4 too many hit marks on it, making the animation very long, causing him to regain EP pretty fast. Both of his breakers are pretty fast, and probably where all of his damage comes from. So this character, he's kind of crazy because he can really mess you up in a short amount of time. And I don't think that should be possible in this game. The devs might call it tech for that character, but I don't know if they understand how that stuff works. Kind of like how they don't really understand how metas work. It seems like this game is kind of like, let's pick that character to be the meta for this period, and then after we push out our offers, we'll nerf it and pick something else to be the meta. But that's really not how the meta should work in the fighting game. It's really supposed to be like organic kind of thing that is unearthed due to this balance change or this character being made, but it's not like a buff that's given to a character that makes that character better than everything else. Because if you're giving an obvious buff that's crazy to a character, you're creating imbalance in the game. It's the opposite of how that should work. Actually, after all these matches, I'm going to dive into the most recent patch notes, and that's kind of where I'll get into more of the balance stuff. But here are the matches against Lothor.
Hey! 3, 2, 1, go! Three, two, one, 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 go!
They put out some patch notes at the end of last month, and I thought they were okay, but it really feels like there's a lot missing from this. Lord Zed, he used to fall pretty fast. If you watched the Alien Red video whenever he first came out, I was avoiding the last hit of his super, and that's pretty much because of the bug that he had where he was falling super fast. Oddly enough, they did not fix the 4-cost strike. The projectile shoots at a horrible angle, causing it to miss if you're in the opponent's corner. You have to kind of back up if you want to use it and connect with it. But then that can also throw off your EP regain. So it's really just a bad move right now. I would like to see this move get the Ranger Slayer treatment. Her 2-cost or now 3-cost arrow. It shoots at different angles depending on what distance you're at. And I think Lord Zed's 4-cost would benefit from that kind of deal. As mentioned, Ranger Slayer's 2-cost arrow strike is now a 3-cost. Ranger Slayer got the most unnecessary buff a while back. She was okay, but for some reason they thought she was lacking, or they wanted her to be a meta. So yeah. Either way, some damage control on that. 2-cost to a 3-cost, some damage increase. Savage shots, that was very necessary. The attack was just way too strong. When it comes to characters in this game, there's a 2-minute timer. A move that an opponent does that can stun or juggle, that's immobilizing the opponent for X amount of seconds. The more effects that you add into moves, the more an opponent can keep you off the ground. That's more times that you're immobilized for a match. And the Ranger Slayer was probably the worst one in terms of keeping an opponent in the air for half of the match. Like, just watch some old matches, go play against Ranger Slayer, and you'll see you're stuck just flying around for like a good 30 to 40 seconds. And that's a good chunk of the match. Leo. Alright, so this first move is his breaker. They made him jump a little bit higher and they made it slower. It's at a pretty good point right now. That breaker was ridiculous. It should have been a strike off the back. It makes no sense for it to have came so late. I'm very certain that these devs know what a good release looks like in terms of a character. Like, alright, maybe this move's a little crazy, but we're still going to put it out there just because it's going to get us more sales. Like, the devs know that Leo was busted. There's zero chance they don't know. Their best play is to ignore negative feedback on social media and just kind of push out the updates whenever they want to. But the breaker is at a pretty good spot right now. I like that you can't mindlessly just spam it out and then the opponent can't backdash out of it. It's a breaker. Like, it has to have some risk if you're leading with it. Firepower is the assist. It seems like they made it faster, but they also made it easier to block in between the hits, which I did feel like it's not a major difference. It's still fast. It can still hit you and it can still trip you instantly if you're on your side of the map. This is just another assist that, like, it should have been a 5 cost. We're down at the point where assists cover the entire map. And then you have some breakers that characters have, like Ninja Billy, that can cover the entire map. I don't think there's any place in a match for a breaker that can cover the entire map because it's crazy. It makes it crazy with more than half of the breakers in this game being moves that you can back dodge because of how slow they are, which is cool. We don't need breakers that can cover the entire map because it just makes comboing easy and it puts more pressure on you as the person going against that to play a perfect game and manage your EP perfectly. So Rocky got some buffs. I think they didn't need to touch this. With one of his breakers, he used to be able to fall and then get right back in the mix whenever his attack was done. Now they added a knockback to it, which I think is unnecessary because it just kind of keeps you immobilized longer. Retreating launcher, his block attack again. Like, I thought the move was just fine before. Giving him recovery speed means he can get right back into the mix to add another move. I think this character was unnecessarily touched. The amount of time that they spent buffing this guy or making edits to these moves could have and should have gone to a different character because he was okay. He's still up there, and it seems like they just want this character to be up there with the kind of edits they gave him. It seems like they just like the ninjas and want them to be the best characters in the game. He got some buffs. I don't think any of it is too crazy. His super meter does gain a little fast. I did notice that. I don't think this character is like over buffed or anything though. I think it works. Some patching to Ninja Yellow. I think as long as you have a block against this character, she's not too bad, so I guess that's fine. Ninja Blue, I did feel some of these edits, it makes it a bit easier to block one of his primary attacks. The hits were so fast in between each other, it was pretty tough to block that. Like, you'd have to be spamming your block and you might get it. I think there's still a bit more work to be done with Billy. It's with his primary slots. Both of those 3 cost strikes are wild because his super ends in a high bounce, so he will always be able to throw one of those out. So if you just survive his super, you still have no chance to get back in the fight because he's going to hit you with those 3 cost strikes. Doggy Kruger. Alright, the biggest issue I have with this character is his confinement. And the big issue is how long you were stuck in that stupid box. The animation feels like it's a good 15 seconds long or so. Cut it down to 5 seconds. You don't need to be sitting in a box for more than 5 seconds. Just fix that. It don't matter how many times you get hit with it. It's 5 seconds would be just long enough to not be able to key up a random attack. Gives him a little bit of EP regain, but if you're sitting there for 10 plus seconds, it's ridiculous, especially if he burns an attack just to trap you again. The rest of his moves are okay. Shadow Slice, I believe, is the assist, and this attack is so fast you don't even see the strike animation. Increase range to the full screen on his breaker. Like, I already went into breakers not covering the full screen, but yep, there's another one. Ninja got some pretty good attention. I think it's long overdue. Katana Tribe Strike. Now, if you get touched with it, you're immediately in the stagger and like you can't do anything. It sets up his breaker every time. Again, the what slows him down is the waiting game because the opponent has to strike into it for it to activate. I don't think Ninja is like crazy broken. I don't think they buffed him into like a Lord Zed kind of category, but he is very good now. But yeah, for the patch notes to not have touched Master Zed, it's very annoying because the 2 cost on this character is so busted. You can just cycle both of these attacks in his primary slot, and with that stun on the 2 cost, like you can regain EP and just keep doing this. This should have been at the top of their list, right? If you're going for a balanced game, you fix the obvious issues, and then you throw a couple of characters who've been lacking into the mix and give them some love. You don't gotta put a balance update focused around the ninjas who are already pretty good leaders and assists. Like, focus on the problems. On the other side of the pendulum, why do we have a legendary Rita that's sitting here with a 6 cost? Change her 6 cost to a 4 cost, maybe increase the repulsive bomb to a 3, and then let that play out. See how that performs against the other characters. Just start with that, nothing else. See what happens. It would have been an easy fix. Another weird issue that's just been ignored is in 2017 Billy's middle slot, both of his attacks have an unnecessary amount of recovery on them. You can't dash into a combo after throwing out his 3 cost bomb. You can't dash much at all after his 5 cost CMP attack. Both of those moves need the same recovery as his primary attack so that he can combo. Just make those small edits. This character is just fine. For Snide, his 6 cost needs to come down to a 5 cost. His rush down, yeah, make the second kick a sweep so that he can flow into some other attack. Start there. I think those are the only 2 edits this guy needs. All he needs a cost increase on one of his primary slots. Connor McKnight, his 4 cost Tyranno staff attack dashes way too far forward, and it just makes his middle slot a rinse and repeat. Use one, use the other. Use one, use the other. That's it. So I think you start with nerfing the forward frames on that attack by at least 50%. For Amelia, this is probably going to be similar with Tanya. The animations for their attacks are kind of locked into having to be set on contact, otherwise they wouldn't be able to finish the attack. What needs to be changed are the effects on these moves need to be like a stagger or no effect, because right now they're able to gain so much EP. It's crazy. Goldar, give both of his breakers some forward frames, please. You don't gotta edit the cost. Just give them both some forward frames so this guy cannot be back dodged. His strikes are both good. Give his breakers forward frames. Wesley Collins, 3 cost primary strike, make the second hit a stagger. Same with the 4 cost. I think there's 4 hits in that attack. Make the second or third hit a stagger or a trip so that he can get the rest of his moves off. His costs are good right now, 2 3s, a 4 and a 5, but both of his strikes make this character a very weak one. Some of those hits need to be a trip. I'm not saying trip or stun on contact, but the second or third hit on them, he needs some love there. Same thing can be said about Danny's attacks. I think his 3-hit strike, his primary 3-hit strike is lacking because you can block it so easily. I believe Bison Charge also needs some recovery frames reduced. Tommy's 5 cost, make that a trip on contact. He's kicking it. Maybe his third kick. Make the third kick in that a stun or something so that it can't be blocked. Rito needs to be able to cancel out of his 3 cost attack. Stumbling Fool, give maybe the third or fourth hit in that attack a trip. Master's Android, same thing as Rito. Master's Fury needs to have a trip somewhere in there so he can't block it too easily. Reduce Mocking Slash to a 4 cost and increase the speed in between his 4 cost breaker attacks. For Zach Taylor, Hip Hop Keto needs recovery frames reduced so that it can flow into his 5 cost breaker a bit more smoothly, because right now you cannot connect both of those moves. Spinning axe, maybe give him a couple of forward frames. Nothing major though. Kendall Morgan, 3-cost strike, needs some. I would say throw some stuns after the second hit, so that the rest of the attacks can go through. Trini's Flying Dagger needs the Ranger Slayer treatment, where the angle changes depending on where you are. Her Tiger Strikes, I believe her Tiger Strikes need a recovery frame reduce so that she can flow into another attack. Right now, she can't combo into the breaker if the opponent is on their toes. Korag, 3-cost block attack, does not need the extra projectile that's going to keep you in the air for an extra second or two. That needs to be taken away. Otherwise, this character is okay. His costs are very low, but right now the issue is that he can juggle you so much, and part of the problem is that 3-cost block attack. Cameron's cost now, he had a pretty good buff a while back. Samurai Slasher should not be a stun on contact. Might disagree with that, but it makes that attack way too easy, and he can flow into his breaker, which takes away the ability to use your middle slot. Tommy's 4-cost strike in his middle slot has way too many hits in it. I think cut a few of those hits out so that the match can flow a bit more smooth. Maybe increase damage because of that, but way too many hits. It's overkill. But yeah, so that was just a quick speed run through some potential issues and fixes with some of the leaders in this game right now. Not even trying to take a deep dive into premium characters. Just looking at the rest of the roster as it is now. You have to keep that stuff balanced. So in one of the next videos, I'll probably do a speed run through assist, maybe issues that we have there. But this balance update, this patch, first and foremost, do them every month. Do them every quarter. And if you're going to do them every quarter, put the time in and make these big, meaningful updates. Don't the 3 or 4 characters out of a roster that has easily 40 characters in it. But yeah, that's it. Again, not enough Luthor matches in this video, so I just kind of added this quick review, and hopefully that filled it enough.